We are at the Game Developers Conference 2010. I'm sitting here with Christina Norman from BioWare Mass Effect 2. Christina, thanks so much for coming on.
Glad to be here.
It's like we've kind of known each other for a while because you came on the old podcast Mog, but we met face to face once for like a second at E3.
Yeah, and then we know each other in an internet sense. So,
yeah. It's weird because
where should I be looking? Like, should I look at the camera? Should I look at you? Should
Whatever
I look at
you
the
want.
internet?
There's too many places. I'll turn. You don't have to look at the internet. You can look at the camera you want. You can look at me. I don't know. I tend to just.
I'll look at you.
Yeah.
The camera doesn't have as much personality.
Exactly. So there you go.
Todd's motioning.
Todd's motioning what?
He wants me to make him a sandwich.
Oh, he wants you to get closer to the mic.
Oh, closer to the mic? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Sandwiches later, Todd.
So what do you think of the GDC so far? What have you seen?
You know, I haven't seen too much. I've actually been a little under the weather.
Right.
So let's see. I went to a level design workshop yesterday, which was pretty good. It was pretty basic. For people watching in, like, the first 2 days of the conference are usually sort of more focused on tutorials and basic introduction stuff. But I came anyway because GDC gave me a full pass.
So does it get more granular as the days go on?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It just starts getting to the nitty-gritty of...
Yeah, it starts to get much more intense, much more specialized, and the parties get better too as the week progresses. So I just went to a Pixar talk, actually, that was pretty cool. It was on storyboarding, just sort of the process that they go through to come up with their stories, which is very different than our process, but it's always really cool to hear how other companies, especially companies that make great stories like Pixar, come up with their stories.
Right. What do you think about that? Because I just had a long talk with Brent. We were kind of discussing how traditionally the Hollywood mix into the game world has kind of been a little lackluster. Usually they're like, film ports that usually aren't that great. But now we're seeing this new, like, it seems like with there's a lot of new talk about this LA Noirs coming out, and they're got the writer from Mad Men and John Hamm is going to act in it. It seems like the game world is now starting to go to Hollywood to find at least certain key people who can really like amp up. And I mean, BioWare is so big on story and writing. What can you tell me about that? Like, what do you think about that, of like now starting to grab Hollywood people out of that world?
Sure. Well, as far as the industry as a whole goes, that's definitely a trend. And I mean, people have been talking about a better connection between games and Hollywood for years. Hey, Tron, that was like kind of like a connection between games and Hollywood. So I think it's still going to be a long process for there to become more and more integration, but it's definitely the direction that the industry is going. And there are going to be really awesome games like the Riddick game that was like a great crossover from a movie into a game done really well. So that kind of stuff.
So funny because that was the one title we talked about, and even Brent said the same thing. He goes, the one that always comes to mind is Riddick, because that one was a great game tie-over.
Yeah, well, Vin Diesel or whatever was involved in the production of the game, right?
And he's a huge gamer.
Yeah, he's a massive nerd. He could probably out D&D me even. So
I always tell Sarah, we actually think that he was in our Warhammer guild.
Oh yeah.
We had this guy in our Warhammer Online guild who sounded exactly like Vin Diesel, and every time Ryan would kind of say something to him, we're like, dude, you're totally Vin Diesel, right? He would just like log off. And it was like either it really was him or he just played the card so well.
Well, maybe you'll meet Vin Diesel someday and you can ask him personally. But back to BioWare, we're kind of approaching it from the other direction. Like, we're really interested in promoting and developing our own IPs. So I think that what we're looking for is, like, can we come up with like the right sort of deal with the right studio to make a movie based on one of our IPs, but keep it really true to the IP. And that's the thing, like, there won't be any like sellout deals from BioWare where it's like, oh yeah, someone gave us some money and they're making a movie. And no.
And I've seen the write-ups about the talk about a Mass Effect film, and I don't know, verbatim, but it had this tone of just like, you could tell whoever was quoted from BioWare just had this thing like, yeah, we know what we got. We'll just wait for you to do the right thing. And
and maybe the right thing will never happen. Like, we
Right.
prefer to not do it than do it wrong. So
It's a good philosophy. So far, it's working for you.
Yeah, but then I guess on the other hand, we also have the Old Republic MMO going on, which is, a video game based on a movie. And I guess Star Wars is one of those things where the IP has grown so big. Like Star Wars, Star Trek, they're so big now, even though like they start off in film and television. Now, like, the games have really evolved as well. So I don't know, it'd be really interesting to see if someday there was a meeting in the middle there. Like, I'd love to see an Old Republic movie someday drawing elements from the games. I don't know if that'll happen, but that would be awesome.
It would be awesome. Where are you guys at this point now? Mass Effect 2's out, huge hit, amazing game. I haven't finished it yet. I'm milking it.
Oh.
I'm loving it. I know.
Gary.
I know.
Right.
I always wasn't even going to tell you. I've been milking it. No, it's so good. I don't want to rush it, and I just keep like nicely pacing.
What are you playing?
Renegade.
Oh, Renegade. Oh, what class?
I don't remember.
Probably a soldier or Vanguard?
Yeah.
Or?
Oh, Vanguard.
Yeah.
Vanguard. Yeah.
I know your personality. I'm like, you'll play soldier or Vanguard.
No, I played Vanguard. I just like the charging.
Yeah, charge is awesome.
I love that you guys like stripped down and made a lot of the inventory stuff a lot simpler and just easier. And
that's a lot about what my talk at GDC I'm giving on Saturday is all about. So I'll be going into just a bunch of details on the design process and how we got from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2. So,
and I'll be a little about it. What are you going to talk about? What are you going
to? Well, kind of like a preview. What the talk is really going on is. It talks about what Mass Effect 1 was. Like, the talk kind of starts at the end of Mass Effect, the point where we had made that game, we got it out there, we were getting feedback from fans, and I mean, we got a lot of really, really positive feedback, but there were also a lot of issues that we wanted to address. So we all kind of got together, we went over the reviews, we went over the fan feedback, we talked about what we had and hadn't achieved in Mass Effect 1, and it's always when you're making like Mass Effect 1 was such a challenging game because it was a brand new engine for a brand new console that we'd never developed before.
Brand new IP.
And a brand new IP, exactly. We had all these challenges coming at us, and in the end I think Mass Effect 1 turned out really amazing given those challenges. But then we were able to come up, and it was really cool because as a team we came up with a very, very focused vision for what we wanted to change for Mass Effect 2. And it was awesome because all these different people, we just came together and we had a very, very clear vision. And then the challenge was figure out how do we actually implement that vision, because what we realized was we were setting ourselves up for another huge challenge, because what we wanted to do we could basically not do with the technology we had developed for Mass Effect 1. We had to develop a whole bunch of new technology. And I mean, the producers went crazy. They were like, really?
You really want to throw all this stuff out? All this work we did?
Like we didn't throw the engine out, but we had to rebuild huge parts of it. But in the end, I think it all really worked out. But that's kind of what the talk's going to be about.
Excellent. Where's the team at right now that Mass Effect 2 is out? Is it full force Mass Effect 3?
There's some work on Mass Effect 3 going on. I double checked with my boss for. I'm like, can I talk about Mass Effect 3? And he says, we've been saying it's a trilogy since it started.
That's what I was going to say. You've said it's a trilogy, so we all know that there's a 3 going to come out eventually.
Yeah, but you never know. It's like whether they want to have some big press surprise, like, surprise, there will be a Mass Effect 3. But no, there is going to be a Mass Effect 3, unless something weird happens that I don't know about. And yeah, it's going to happen, and I'm working on it. And I'm doing basically the same job for Mass Effect 3 that I was in at Mass Effect 2. And we're also working on DLC stuff as well.
Awesome.